Right on, man. So I'm with my man Zayden. We've been playing some basketball here, and we were playing basketball, and you started telling me your story. And so I'm at Brent's place right now, which is a wonderful, incredible home for people who are going through what my son is going through. My son has leukemia, and so I was hoping maybe you could tell me a little bit about your story.
So back in August of 2022, I was diagnosed myself with cancer stage 4B Hodgkin's lymphoma. So went ahead, had to go through some intense chemo rounds, I think 5 to be exact. First one was kind of rough, the other ones I kind of just took with stride. I've just been keeping my personality, my view, my mindset up, so it definitely affects it a lot. But
yeah, I feel like I'm talking to you right now, and you're like you have just this like charisma, man, and like excitement about life and this enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm already looking forward to what, because something like this, it opens up people's eyes, and you don't realize, but in the future, whenever it comes to someone who had cancer or anything to do with such a big event, people care, and it'll actually open up a lot of opportunities. Like what I'm doing right now is streaming, or I already looked at like job opportunities or stuff like that, and because of people, how much they care, and like fundraisers and everything they do, you could probably
so people have heard your story, man. They've heard like what you're going through, and they care. Like people have gotten behind you and really really cared about what it is that you're going through.
Yeah, my schools, my teachers, family, friends.
And you're streaming right now on Twitch, so we'll have to like share your handle, all that fun stuff, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so one thing that you were telling me that really stood out to me is that obviously what you've gone through is horrible, man. It's unbelievably hard. I mean, I've been in the hospital with my son and watched him be sick and watched his hair fall out and all that hard stuff, man. And you walked through that. And you were talking to me about attitude, like that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, whenever it comes to people or what they take it as, all of my friends, literally because of the way that I treat it or even how I joke about it, all of my friends literally say that they want to have cancer because the way that I've taken it on, I've went ahead and represented it, or how I've shown that it really just depends on your mindset and how you affect it. It's not on how it affects you. The way that you take it, it goes a long way.
So it's like what you bring into it, even though there is all that hardship. Like somehow that can transform what it is you've been through into something that like is meaningful and matters to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, so to make sure I just got that right, like, all right, so in 2022 you were diagnosed with stage 4.
2022, stage 4B.
And had to go through 5 cycles of chemotherapy.
5 cycles of chemotherapy. Went ahead, we thought that I was in remission, had a relapse.
That's this. Say hi. And you've been through this just as much as he has. I mean, that's one thing I've learned, man. Your whole family goes through it, right?
Yeah.
And so this conversation we're having, and this is the reason that I wanted to interview you here, is this is a massive celebration. Like so 5 cycles, you got done, you rang your bell, you were feeling like maybe you got to put this behind you, and then there was a relapse.
And then we had to move up to here. We were in here for January. We were expecting to get out around March, and turns out I needed more chemo and everything. I couldn't just immediately start the BMT, so we actually went from being up here for like planning for like 3-4 months up to like now 7 to 8, almost 8 months. We've been up here since January.
Oh my gosh. And so came back, and then this next stage, which is what my son is going through right now, is a bone marrow transplant.
Yeah, bone marrow transplant. I went into it for 60 days, and I got out at like day 65. And now have the green light and should be able to go home and move on.
And what grade are you going into?
I'm going into 8th, hopefully.
Yeah, going into 8th grade, right?
Yep.
And we were just shooting some hoops, man. It was already starting to come back to you.
Yeah.
You were knocking them down.
Thank you.
And so getting back on the basketball team and seeing your friends and getting back home.
Yeah, definitely. Wasn't a part of the basketball team, but I was going to try out for it. But
because you left in like in 6th grade, right? Is when all this started.
Yeah, I pretty much didn't do any part of 6th grade because I went to Jumpstart Day, got diagnosed, missed all of it. I did about almost half of 7th grade, and that's where I really started to like make connections, meet my friends again, all that after
Yeah.
like getting out of the hospital, and then now being back up here and heading back, a lot of people are gonna know my name again. Sometimes it's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, that
whenever
they've heard
people
your
know
story.
you,
Yeah, absolutely, right?
but probably for the better.
Yeah, you're gonna walk back in a conquering hero, man. Like you really are, and I mean this so sincerely. Like I've watched you and all these kids struggling in this place, and you're my heroes, man. Like the courage that you've shown, and this is true of you as well. Like what you guys have been through is so incredible. So what does it feel like to finally be going home after, like, what emotion comes up for you?
It's more surreal than anything. It's
Yeah.
almost like you miss it, but also you then realize that you've also taken what has and what will happen for granted, and then you kind of miss already what has happened and how people have just been like treated you and everything. Like it's a big change.
Isn't it so beautiful? Like
Yeah,
we're going through these hard things, and my son, me too, man, and like the level of kindness and compassion,
Yeah,
like
the
from the
hospital
nurses
here
and
everyone here.
Who's your favorite nurse?
My favorite nurse, it probably would be Lindsay.
Lindsay? Huh?
Yeah.
Sure, I've had Lindsay before. All right, we'll have to pass that along, though, man. That's
Yeah.
so awesome. Well, all right, so maybe a couple final questions. What's one thing that you would tell other families or tell other kids that are going through, maybe this, but also like any kind of hardship?
Just try and keep your value of life up, keep your emotions up, like your mindset. Don't ever let it get behind you or start weighing you down, because as soon as you do, it's just gonna completely change
How do you keep that though, man? Like, I mean, I just can imagine you're going through this, like your body is hurting.
The way that you keep that, I personally like to go ahead and like talk with friends or online. It really, parents think that it doesn't do a lot, but whenever you go through something like this, it's not like you really have any other option.
Yeah.
So really, like the people that you meet online or the friends that you make, the people that you spend time with, everything that you choose or do that makes you happy, just always focus on that.
But you got to lean into those things, those people, those stories, and also you're making a plug for social media, right, man? Like maybe it gets a bad rap, but for you, like especially like you're kind of stuck in a room and like can't go anywhere, can't do anything, can't see people,
might as
and
well make it a good use.
Yeah, so that was an outlet for you and a point of connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the one thing that you're most excited to get home?
The one thing that I'm most excited to get home to, it's really just being back with my friends and family and pets. It's really just you can't really, I mean, you can say old life, because whenever you're going through something that's such a big thing like this, it's usually not just a couple of months. It's usually at least like 6 months to a couple of years is from what I'm understanding. So it definitely changes people.
What would you tell moms and dads that are going through this with their kids?
Mom and dads, just go ahead and always try and keep your spirits up. Try and always focus about your kid. You can still care about everything else, and you want to try and show them like as much affection, or try and just keep your minds off of the negative things as well, because really, if your kids take it with stride, or if they start acting like it's not that big of a deal, then don't over stress them. Just go with them on it, and it'll go a long way.
Feel with them, be with them.
Yeah.
And I love that. All right, I have one more question for you, and then one more question for you too. So what would you tell families that are going through what you've had to go through? Because I really know this from experience that the whole family goes through this. It changes your life, almost just as much as a lot of other people.
Yeah. Something I'd probably want to say to families is what his saying is: keep hope and never give up. No matter what you're going through, things will always get better.
It's truly beautiful. All right, this question maybe is for both of you, but especially you. Like, who would you like to say thank you to for?
Really, it's everyone that's been behind me and with me on this journey, like friends, family, online people. It's anyone that really supports you and they really do care, stand there with you. They're gonna mean a lot.
Yeah, that's really meant a lot to you. I mean, I can tell when you say it that has meant a lot to you, all the people that have supported you. Yeah, how about you? Who are you?
Probably friends and family, because all of my friends have, since I haven't been able to see them in person. We've been FaceTiming a lot, and they've been helping me because sometimes whenever they call me, I'm crying, and they help me with that. And then family always comforts me.
So you've got really people that have listened to you and cared about you and been there for you. Yeah, haven't forgotten about you guys when you're going through this, man. Any final words of wisdom, man? You can go for it, man. You've been...
It's my saying from the company brand that I made a collab with for a shirt. It was never give up. Keep hope, never give up.
Man, I love it. All right.
I don't remember what the company was called.
We'll figure it out. We'll share all your stuff, man. I mean, I can't wait to hear more of your story, and we're buddies now, man. I'm gonna figure out how to follow you and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. You got a lot of people rooting for you, and now you got me too. All right, man.